It was devastating to hear guilty.
NYPD officer Gil Valle, dubbed the Cannibal Cop, is found guilty of conspiracy to commit kidnapping. He's also been nailed for accessing a federal government computer database without authorization. A verdict that leaves the former officer's defense team stunned.
I'm sure Mr. Valle was crying. I was certainly crying. It's emotional. It's very hard to hear. We've worked very hard, and we truly believe in his innocence.
After Valle's conviction, his attorneys file a motion to appeal. Journalist and Crime Watch Daily legal analyst Amy Dash is watching this case very carefully.
The case appalled me from a legal perspective because it was such a thought-based prosecution. It was straight out of George Orwell's 1984, where a man had disturbing thoughts but did nothing in reality to back them up. And he was prosecuted and convicted.
But this isn't fiction. It's fact for former NYPD cop Gil Valle, currently facing life in prison.
It's very hard, almost impossible, to overturn a jury verdict.
For nearly 2 years, Gil Valle remains behind bars, professing his innocence to our Amy Dash.
He was always polite, and he just came off as the most normal person. And I thought, this is so bizarre, because when I was reading the trial transcript, there were some sick things going through this guy's head. It's like two totally different people.
There's NYPD officer husband and father Gil Valle, and then there's Cannibal Cop, with his online persona, Girl Meat Hunter.
The bulk of the evidence from the prosecutors was internet-based. So you had chats, you had Google searches for blueprints for murder and rape, Google searches for chloroform. So the question becomes, is all of that internet evidence enough to prove a conspiracy and to prove criminal intent? Or do you need more? Do you need an action outside of the internet?
And the shamed ex-cop's criminal action, according to prosecutors, was meeting with his former college classmate, Kimberly, for lunch. They claimed he stalked his target after putting together a document recovered from his computer entitled Abducting and Cooking Kimberly, a blueprint.
They only had that one lunch date as proof of surveillance. They played upon the fears of the jury and they said, is this the type of guy that you want out on the streets? And this is what the jury bought.
But now the question is, will the appeals court buy it?
Is that enough to put me in prison for the rest of my life? You know, what crime did I commit?
Coming up.
The law says that you cannot prosecute people based on their disturbing and sick thoughts.
And a man who knows a cannibal when he sees one.
I interviewed Jeffrey Dahmer.